What is up, you all? How you doing? Started a little bit early tonight. Um, Doug went off. Yeah, I saw some of that. And then I had an email saying that he had planned on going, uh, proving that myself, Ernie Shell, Benny Keys, and Nicolina were all working together. Yeah, that's right. That's not happening. Oh, early. Well, we're just going to start at 11, so it's a little bit early before 11. um, I forgot I said 11. Then I rushed in here before 10, and I was like, oh no, I said 11 tonight because I was going to take Mama C out. And we did go out after the little athletic banquet, but we came home early because we're old. Hello, Banner B, KC Girl, E Squared, Andrew says. Yeah, I've seen some screen recordings and some, I know. Seems like we get a little bit better crowd later at night, but looks like we got all the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs live tonight. So, of course, when one is live, there's two or three that stream that one and, you know, get all that good content. They grab it together. So, I guess it's entertainment for some. Um, and a lot of people find it entertaining. Um, I was told about this Andrew says is West Coast, so it's not that late for you, right? It's probably what, 8 o'clock, going on 8. Um, but yeah, I'm not overly concerned on what any of them have to say about me. To be honest with you, um, I know me. My family knows me. My friends know me. So all this ruckus and uh, finger pointing, name calling, trying to reputation ruin. All that's just YouTube. That's all it is. That's all it's for. And when I was talking to someone earlier, and someone I have lots and lots of respect for, we were just talking. They were telling me about this new poll or votes or whatever. Who's the um, biggest liar or hated or something, most hated, and it was the top three were like Doug, Benny, and Ernie. But you put those three together and you've got 50,000 subscribers. So do they really hate it? Or do they say they hate it and they really love it? Just, honest question, right? Like, and I'm guilty of watching, uh, it was referred to as a train wreck. How do you turn away? How do you look the other way? Like, um, I don't know. Does he do not have any views? He does have 30 some thousand subscribers. Um, but it's people want to see that stuff. People want to see grown men acting like babies. You know, if they would meet in the street and have a slap boxing match and slap the snot out of each other and just smack somebody, the you wouldn't be able to put enough people on the server to watch it. Like it would be, pay-per-view kind of numbers. Um, but like I said, I'm guilty too. Um, you can't, you know, even if you don't hear it and somebody tells you about it, then you look at it and you're like, oh man, and you don't turn away. You don't look at it for a second and say, let's put this down. No, you watch it. You watch it and you wait. And you watch it and you wait. And then at the end of it, you're like, gosh, did I just waste 30 minutes of my life on that? Gwen Dinkins, I wouldn't even worry about it then. um, it's a more educated, um, better spoken Jamie is all that is. Um, he doesn't have to use the F word all the time, but he still does. Yeah, and these people got bad things to say about Josh. Like, why would why has anybody got anything to say about him? Um, Josh is one of the people who's been most genuine to me since day one. He's never told me anything steer me in the wrong direction. He's never told me to bite back or bark back. So, and he handles controversy with grace. I watched his program for a while today. He's talking about the Summer Wells situation, and and I commented once or twice in his chat, and what I pretty much said was, this guy is the most down to earth, like well spoken, genuine person who has no dog in the fight, pretty much, like that tells the truth. It doesn't matter to him whether you like what he's got to say or not. He's not going to fix what he says to aim to please. Like that's all cool, but he shoots it straight. Tells the truth. A lot of people don't like that. Don't like that approach. You'd rather see. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying they'd rather see, claws out. Yeah, he streamed today. He was on with somebody else, another person that seemed pretty professional. I can't remember the guy's name, but had a good program about Summer Wells and the whole situation and who the players are in it. Aaron Mullen, that's right. Yeah, it was Josh and Aaron Mullen, and the guy seemed, that guy. That's the first time I've ever seen him. Seemed like same type of person. So I think maybe he's got a podcast or something. But yeah, just and to each their own. That's why we get. Thank you. Who knows? That's why we get. To choose. Like that's why, not specifically, but that's one of the reasons why people go across these great waters and fight for our freedom. Fight for us to be able to do what we want to do. Choose who we want to choose. Choose to watch what we want to watch. He's making some documentary. Who's making the documentary? E Squared. Did I miss something? Oh, Aaron Mullen is? That'd be cool. Is Aaron Mullen a YouTuber as well? I know he's said something about maybe thought he said something about a podcast. But Well, yeah. So, all right. How many of you guys or girls? How many of you people have actually? And we've not got big numbers, and I assume we won't with all the chaos going on. Um, it's but the people who are here are the people who want to be here, and that's who I'm here for. So, how many of you guys and gals have actually looked into this Crystal Rogers case? And I had no idea that it was there was actually a docu series about it. I'm going to watch that, um, and this. I mean, I've really been intrigued by this. Um, what I found out today, and it's just hot dog. You talk about um, gut wrenching type stuff. Um, I, I heard. I watched Kendall Ray's video on that case last night. Oh, cool, cool. You saw the docu series. I say I'm going to watch that. I can't wait to see that. Um, but there's more than just this missing lady. Way, way deeper than that, as I kind of expected it would be. Um, it's been adult. It was stupid adulting. Don't you just hate that stupid adulting stuff? Oh my goodness. But yeah, this yes, the mom and what about the baby? Like there's I think three kids, but the one who was, you know, fathered by the man she was living with. And we're going to talk about it. I'm going to read off, from this website and get a little start, and then we're going to start talking about parts of the case each night. And it was Oxygen, yes. Oxygen has the docu series. Yeah, the and it's like they have like a 2 year old. I think it's 2 years old when she disappears. Which let's see was 2015, so it would be around 9 years old now. Still just a baby. Um, and then I started hearing the suspects, and okay, wow, uh, the police are involved. Um, a detective is involved. So the FBI comes in, and it's just you talk about you talk about wild. And this is a tiny, tiny community. You know, for this to be unsolved still with the FBI attention. And oh, I didn't see that, Casey girl. I think you messaged me about that, but yeah. But let me share a screen here, and I'll read this off, and then we'll start discussing a little bit. Um, why did it take so long for the FBI to get involved? I'm not sure how long it took. Maybe you guys already know, but um, yeah, they should have been involved from the jump, right? With the missing persons, like a missing persons is FBI, right? So yeah, they should have been involved from the jump, I think. Um, and Louisville, Kentucky, where there's an FBI field office, is not that far from Bardstown. 40-minute drive, 50-minute drive. Um, but let me pull this share screen up, and I'll read you this, and I'll tell you the website that I've got it from. That way you can check it out as well if you want. And I'm sure you can Google this name, and you just find all kinds of stuff. I do warn you about Googling, um, just like with YouTube. Google is not an official um, news source. It's not always a good source for information. A lot of times, questions are asked on and answered on Google that aren't true. So let me fix the screen where I can make it a little bit bigger. All right. Okay. Now, you guys see that? Oh, police corruption. Yeah, it's definitely suspected. This is big time police involvement, I think. Okay, she went missing on July 3rd, 2015. That's a picture of Crystal Rogers, 5'9", 155 pounds. If she were alive today, and they've never found her. So if she were alive today, she would be 42 years old, 35 when she went missing. See if we can. Okay. And I'm going to miss some of the chat while I read this. Okay, so if you have any questions while I'm reading, you may hold them back until after. You guys can chat with each other, but if you got questions that you need me to answer or want me to see, you may want to wait until I'm done reading, because I'm going to go to the bigger screen on the share screen so I can see it and read it. I'm an old man with terrible eyes. Okay, Crystal Rogers was a loving mother of 5, a daughter, a sister, and a friend who lived in Bardstown, a small rural town in Kentucky located 40 miles from Louisville. She was 35 years old when she vanished. At first glance, Bardstown seems to be quaint and filled with the charms of a small town. However, it's filled with sinister secrets. Many who live in Bardstown believe that Crystal's disappearance could be linked to 4 other unsolved cases in Bardstown. And this is the one I was talking about last night. The murder of an on-duty Bardstown police officer, Jason Ellis, on May 25th, 2013. The double homicide of Kathy and Samantha Netherland on April 22nd, 2014. And here's a real kicker. The murder of Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard, on November 19th, 2016. So a year later, a little over a year later, her father was murdered. The day Crystal went missing, oh, well, that's just a lead in. Crystal was last seen on the afternoon of July 3rd, 2015, playing games on her phone at her home. She lived with her boyfriend, Brooks Hawk. That's spelled Houck, but I think it's pronounced like a hawk that flies in the air, a bird. Which was the last time she would ever be seen alive. The next day, Crystal would be reported missing by her mother, Sherry Ballard, after she could not make contact with Crystal. A short time after filing a missing persons report, Crystal parked a red Chevrolet Impala, Crystal's parked red Chevrolet Impala car would be discovered on Bluegrass Parkway near mile marker 14 in Bardstown. Crystal's keys, phone, and purse also inside the car. The car was taken into police custody to be tested for forensic evidence. However, in the Oxygen docuseries, The Disappearance of Crystal Rogers, the car appeared like it was never tested. No items from her car were ever booked into evidence. To me, that is insane. You want to talk about the sloppy investigation of Ronnie King? Wow. What about this? In in the time since Crystal went missing, her family did everything possible to bring their daughter home, including putting a missing person sign in the exact location where Crystal's car was discovered. Her family was incredibly vocal about the lack of support they received from Crystal's boyfriend, Brooks. On July 8th, 2015, this was 3 days or no, 5 days after she was discovered missing, Brooks would deny any connection or involvement in Crystal's disappearance. During this interview, Brooks's brother, now he was interviewing with the police. Brooks's brother, Nick Hawk, would call him. Nick was actually a detective, officer at the Bardstown Police. Nick would call him, advising him not to talk to officers. However, it wouldn't be long before he would be named a suspect and authorities would announce that Crystal is presumed dead. So later, supposedly there's video of this phone call, and Nick Hawk calls his brother while he's talking to the police, and you can hear Nick say, "Hey, they're trying to trip you up. Don't say anything else." So not a good look. On July 15, Bardstown police officer Nick Hawk, Brooks's brother, would be interviewed by the Nelson County Sheriff's Office in relation to the case. He would agree to take a polygraph test several days later, which he would ultimately fail. As a result, Nick Hawk was fired from Bardstown Police Department on October 16, 2015, because of interfering with the ongoing investigation. When she was discovered, the Ballard family experienced another tragedy just a year after Crystal vanished. On November 19, 2016, Tommy Ballard, that's her father, would be shot and killed while out hunting with his young grandson on his farm. Tommy was a fierce advocate for his daughter's case. He kept a detailed record of Crystal's case. It is believed that Crystal's case is somehow connected to Tommy's murder, and I believe that as well. On the 1-year anniversary of Tommy's death, yellow and black signs started showing up around Bardstown, including one that read, "Detective Hawk killed Rogers." By 2020, yes, that is 5 years later. Correct. Someone said that in the chat. FBI Louisville takes over the investigation and quickly issues multiple federal warrants to search 3 different properties belonging to Nick and Brooks Hawk. The FBI would find items of interest, but have not released what was discovered on the properties. In July 2020, remains were discovered and taken to an FBI headquarters in Quantico, but it was determined that the remains did not belong to Crystal. Crystal's case is still unsolved, and her body has not been found. Crystal Rogers is described as 5 feet 9 inches tall, 150 pounds, shoulder-length blonde hair and blue eyes. FBI Louisville is offering $25,000 for any information that leads to an arrest, conviction, or identification of the individuals responsible for Crystal's disappearance. However, the family is offering an additional reward. If you know something in Crystal's disappearance regarding her disappearance, please contact the FBI tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Okay, let's chat. So, for me, and I've read a little bit more, there's more information that we're going to go over, but this brother, the boyfriend who was with her when she went missing, actually made an appearance on Nancy Grace. So they either didn't say, didn't know, or it hadn't been released yet. I don't know. I will look into that E squared and see if I can find that information too. But the boyfriend, his brother was a detective with the Bardstown Police and actually failed a polygraph. Now, listening to that podcast, he initially refused to take a polygraph. And then once he failed it, the police let him go. Um, there was another employee that we'll go over later, an employee of the boyfriend. So I guess they had money. You know how money works in small towns. But an employee of the brother, the boyfriend, Brooks Hawk, was convicted for lying to the police. 38 counts of lying to the police under oath regarding this case. Yes, his brother was fired from the PD. My initial, didn't they find a cop car trunk or back seat, hair, blood, or dog alerted something? Maybe. I haven't seen that yet, but that's possible. Now, there's more on this website. Let me give you the guys this website because there's more. It is uncovered. I'm gonna put it in the chat. .com, and I'll put this in the chat for you. You guys check out this website. It's got some information, but the grandmother of the brothers has a farm, and I guess the night the crystal went missing, this car, the grandmother had a car whose was parked in a peculiar place at the farm that night. They did get a search warrant and search the car, but the grandmother pled the fifth. Did I not put it in there? Could you guys see the chat or see the URL? Maybe I have to go to YouTube and do it. Let's see. Possibly. Paste. There we go. I'll pin it to the top too. If I can. It's not letting me do anything. What's wrong with this? Is it showing up in chat now? Still not seeing it? That is wild. I wonder why. All right, let me see if I can. It won't let me pin it either. That is wild. Because I can see it and I can take the link to it and everything. Maybe I can change from HTTPS and put in www and see if that helps. All right, now check. See if I can say anything in here. I'm blocked from my own chat. Surely not. I'm blocked from my own chat. Let me go into how in the world would that happen? Let me go in and see if I'm blocked in the YouTube studio. Oh my goodness. The world never ceases. All right. Studio. Gosh, it'll take me forever to go through all these blocks. Hmm. Maybe I can send it to one of my mods on Facebook. Let's see. That is wild. Always something hijacking the flow. All right, let me send this to KC girl and see if she can put it in the chat. All right. Now I'll go to settings, community. Check see if I'm blocked. You guys see stuff when I put in the chat though, right? Like, hey Steve. See that? Okay. So it's something to do with that URL, I guess. Steve, we just went over this. I just read the information on Crystal Rogers. Have you read up on anything on that? There you go, Bannerby. No, maybe that's. Let's see. Technical difficulties. Oh, there's a. Yeah, that's a podcast about it too. We'll check that out. We may stream that, and I'll see if I can get permission first. And if I can't get permission, I won't stream it. But we'll ask them. And this looks like that was streamed by Mile Higher Podcast. Um, so I don't know. It may be something in there is one of those blocked words that I've went back and blocked too. So I had to block so much. I don't know. We'll get it figured out though. Um, did our mods? Were we able to get it posted? I'll give you the address anyway. It's the website is uncovered.com. Uncovered.com. All right, here's the way I'll do it. .com / cases / it's Crystal Rod. Yep, Crystal Rogers. Okay. Crystal. All right. You guys will obviously have to change that to the website way, but that's the information I read off is from there. And there's also some pretty cool like the timeline. This timeline is pretty cool. I think is it still sharing? Let me go to this. And there we go. don't know what. Oh, that's the Bardstown area there, but you see all this and like the grandma's car was brought in and all that stuff, and they when they found her car on the parkway, um, it was staged. Um, Somebody tried to make it look like she had a flat, but she actually didn't have a flat. The tire was low, but it looked like somebody just took and actually deflated the tire some. Okay, thank you, 616 Love. Um, but yeah, it's well, thank you, Steve. You can use mine too, buddy. No problem at all. Anything we've got that you want to use, just feel free to use it, buddy. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Unless you're going to talk about how ugly I am. But then I don't give you permission to use my picture. Here's your proof. Grandma sold the car before they could search it. Well, she sold it. Um, did she sell it before they could search it? I know she sold it. Um, but yeah, they should have got that car right off the bat. And the grandpa getting killed, or yeah, her dad getting killed, her father getting killed, um, to shut him up. That's what when my wife was like, "We'll go up there and we'll talk to people." I'm like, "Well, we'll rent a car because we don't want to have our driver's license or plates up there, and then we'll leave town as soon as we're done, and because this is serious stuff, and it's obvious that these brothers have some money because they've got some real estate." Somebody throw up a link to Steve's channel if we've got it. I think 616 Love has it. But there's obviously like even though the police fired the guy, you know, and I'm not saying bad things about cops, all cops, just like with anything else, there's bad people. And with these brothers that working with the police for so long, and the older brother obviously had some connections, and seniority to be a detective there. So there's probably other police working there. And I'm saying probably because I don't know and I hate to assume, but more than likely they have friends there still on the police station that would, you know, not want to see them get in trouble. Not necessarily help them get away with something, but believe in them enough to say, hey, let's slow this down. We're not going to, throw our friend under the bus. Um, your road nurse is not. um, but what amazes me is, this man, the brother says, well, now he saw her that night at home, in the evening time playing on her phone, and then she wasn't there the next day. And he tries to explain, well, she would go stay on out with friends sometimes and not tell me. I find that hard to believe that, especially with a 2-year-old there, and she's got other kids. She had 5 children, right? So 5 children, it's going to leave them with somebody you're not even married to, uh, while you go stay on out somewhere else without telling them where you're at. And, you know, by all accounts, she was a good mother, a good friend, a good person. So, yeah, I just don't buy that. I just don't buy that. I don't think anybody bought it. Um, you know, but it's so much circumstantial stuff, you know, without the body or a murder weapon. Um, how do you charge a man with murder? Um, so unless this young lady is found, it's very likely that the case will go cold and stay cold. Um, yeah, nobody just disappears like that, right? Not right off, you know, boom, she gone from the couch. No way, no way. And you know, I'm going to watch this docu series, and the boyfriend sounded like he was trying to dupe Nancy Grace, trying to be charming. You seen the Nancy Grace interview? I need to watch that. I need to watch that. Um, I, I'm sure Nancy Grace wasn't about being duped, was she? I used to love Nancy Grace. I thought she was wrong a lot, but man, she was also a firecracker. Um, oh, no problem. um, Hidden Dragon. Yeah, I'm gonna. I got to check out the Nancy Grace. We may stream some Nancy Grace and talk about it. Um, let me see if I can. I wonder if I can find that right now. Should have been ready to play that right tonight, right? What am I doing? What am I doing? Let's see. Nancy Grace Brooks Hawk. Uh,
to her parents.
all right. You guys want to see some Nancy Grace? First, let me do this before we watch Nancy. Got to take care of some. Got to take care of something before we take care of Nancy. All right. Fair use. In good faith, this work contains fair use of copyright and non copyright images from the public domain and the web for non commercial and non profit educational purposes. This work is distributed free of charge. The author has neither monetized this work or sought any profit from its distribution. Um, Copyright disclaimer under Section 107. This work contains original work of commentary and critical analysis. And that's what we're going to use it for, is educational purposes and critical analysis. So Nancy, I'm a big fan. Headline news, don't come after me. I just want to play some Nancy Grace. All right, let me remove that. And go back to StreamYard. I used to love Nancy Grace. Yeah, I used to love it. Especially the Kaylee Anthony and the Casey Anthony. I followed that, you know, every single night. I was, you know, like with bated breath waiting on Nancy Grace to come on. Let's see. All right, you guys can see that pretty good. Good deal. I'll mute myself.
It's Tom and Sherry Ballard, her boyfriend that she lived with. They're in their 3-bedroom suburban home. Brooks Houck is with us. So, Brooks, you go to bed and she's still playing games on her phone. The next morning, around 8 o'clock, you notice that she's missing. Did you report her missing?
No, ma'am.
Why?
That is a great question, and one that I definitely want to hit the public and the media. I was not in the least little bit alarmed in any way, shape.
So stop it right there. So maybe we can stop and Nancy won't get me. But Stan, hit the full screen. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can fix that right quick. Does that help? Did that help, guys? All right. He was not in the least bit alarmed or concerned. And I think Nancy can get it.
Perform. We have had a stress relationship at times, and one of the ways that Crystal has always chose to cope or to deal with that is by going to a young woman's name, Sabrina. That is her cousin, her dad's brother's daughter, whom she's very close to. And she spent the night there on several occasions.
When you say several, do you mean 1, 3?
So my question here is, Brooks, did you call Sabrina? Did you call your girlfriend? Say, hey, I got all your kids here. Is anything up? Why are you gone? Yeah, that's a good question. That's what I want to know. Did you at least call Sabrina? Let's find out. And Nancy Grace is going to say, she said, when you say several, do you mean 1, 3? Like he talks about on several occasions, she went to that house. So let's see what he says.
3, 20?
In the neighborhood of 4 to 6.
Okay,
like that.
To Tom and Sherry Ballard, were you aware of that? Do you know who Sabrina is?
Yes, ma'am.
That's my niece.
Okay. Did you know that she goes and spends the night over there when she's having an issue at home?
I've known probably one time.
Right. Okay, I want to go back to Brooks Houck, who was the last person to see her alive. Brooks, did you go on to the July the 4th get-together that day?
Yes, I did.
So mom and dad, they don't believe it. I wouldn't believe it either. Yeah, he's full of crap. Yeah, that's dad. Yeah, and it's poor man went to his grave wondering where his daughter's at. This is really a sad story, and no, she didn't ask him about calling Sabrina, but I think she just kind of figured he would lie about it anyway. She did ask the parents if that was something that was commonplace for her to go over to Sabrina's, and they said they knew of it happening once, and it sounded like it happened after a big fight, like claws come out, I'm going to stay with somebody else tonight. I'm not staying here with you. That type of thing. Not, hey, I'm playing on my game here, sitting here on the couch. So I think I'm just going to jump up and go stay with somebody else tonight. Yeah. 4th of July gathering, wondering why she wasn't there. Right, E squared. Exactly. Let's hear what old Nancy gets him on this.
Even though you didn't know where she was?
I was expecting, I'd putting in a phone call that morning and then around lunch. And usually the maximum period of time that she has stayed gone has only been like a day to a day and a half at the most. And as a result of that, I thought that she would.
Did you try to call her?
Us. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, ma'am.
Did you try to call her during that time?
Not while I was there at the fourth. I called her prior to leaving to head in that direction. Yes, ma'am.
Some people have accused you of not being involved enough in the search efforts. What's your response?
That is a great question, and one I certainly appreciate you asking me.
Yeah, that is a great question, right? Why ain't you looking for her, dude? Did you love her? Do you love your child you have with her, your 2-year-old? Do you want to go help him find mommy? What's wrong with you, man? It's because you know where she's at, right? Like, this just jumps out to me that it's just, oh my goodness. These are the type of things that really makes me mad, like just for this guy, what I understand, he never spent a day in jail, right? Never was arrested. We'll find out for sure, but oh, you going to bed? Good night, or 616. Good night. Thank you for coming in. Sorry for being up so late. We'll try to get early tomorrow. We'll set for 10 p.m. tomorrow and see if we can do a little bit better. All right. Well, good night, 616. Thank you. All right. Let's get back to Nancy.
And that is all of my efforts in searching for her have been done behind the scenes um, with the Nelson County Sheriff's Office,
Like what?
including Detective Snow, who's leading the investigation, and Jason Allison, who's a deputy there assisting him, along with the Kentucky State Police Agency Post Number 12.
I do know from reading that Detective Snow is the person who administered or was there for and got the lie detector test on brother. And yeah, behind the scenes. Yeah. And Detective Snow, I'm sure, wasn't working with this turd muncher behind the scenes.
Well, my question was what
Because
you had been doing with them, but let me ask you this. I know that you agreed to take a polygraph. Did you pass?
because of the way that the lines or whatever were on the thing, they determined it to be what's called inconclusive. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but they did tell me it didn't. It does mean that I wasn't lying or I didn't pass it or I didn't fail it. They just ruled it inconclusive, and that's exactly the way that it stands. I've been 100% completely honest.
So his was inconclusive. Yeah, turd muncher. His was inconclusive, but brothers failed. Brothers failed. Yeah, yeah. That's a pattern, isn't it, Bannerby? Like these, instead of looking, they're going to go search with some buddies and, conduct our own search. We don't trust anybody else. We, blah 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 blah. Get the old Charlie Brown.
With everyone, I've been 100% cooperative and everything that has been asked of me. I've not asked for any kind of legal advice or assistance or an attorney of any nature. I'm 100% completely innocent in this, and I have exhausted my efforts with the law enforcement agencies to gather all the facts necessary to allow me to have a clean name again.
What does that mean? I have exhausted all the efforts necessary for law enforcement to allow me to have a clean name again. What? Yes, Jason Ellis was murdered, ambushed, I think 2 years. I think it was 2013 when Jason Ellis was murdered. They do believe, there is a theories that put several of these murders and disappearances together. Jason Ellis is included. But yes, he was already, you know, um, murdered in 2013. All right.
And that's very important to me. I have not responded to a lot of the negativity and all this animosity because I want the emphasis to remain on Crystal's safe return home, and that's where I want it to. I want it to stay focused in that area rather than dealing with any of the animosity.
Okay. So he, for one, okay, regardless of whether you've been arguing, um, I'm just going to tell you God's honest truth. Like, I don't know when this was. I could probably look and see the date, but they're obviously still searching. Um, I couldn't talk about if my woman, the mother of my children, girlfriend, wife, significant other, whatever, is missing or thought to be deceased. When I'm talking to Nancy Grace, I'm tearing up. There's no way I can talk about it without thinking the worst. Like, maybe he's just a tough guy. But I don't know, man. To me it seems like he didn't care. And if you're guilty of murder or you're guilty of kidnapping, whatever happened, wherever she's at, whatever they're doing, um, then that's the way you sound. I agree, Steve. Like, I would be out there, man, looking. How can you go home at night with a 2-year-old? You're saying, "Where's mommy?" How can you hear that? Like, how do you explain to him? Like, or her? I can't remember if it was boy or girl. But yeah, you gotta. Let's go find mama. So who has her children? Please tell me it's not him. I believe the grandparents. I know at some point they tried to get custody of, and I believe they did get custody of the younger boy. The younger boy was the only one that belonged to Brooks Hawk. The other 4 children had, different fathers. I don't know if it was 4 different fathers, but it was different than Brooks Hawk. So yes, the younger one was the only one that belonged to Brooks Hawk. So, and I think the grandparents were able to get custody of that child. But this guy's lying. You can see it. You can hear it. And there's a lot more. There's a lot more. And we're going to, this is a good opening for it. But we're gonna read more, and I'm gonna learn more, and I'm gonna get some slides together, some videos, some pictures, stuff to post and put up for you guys to look at and read and hear. But this is a sad, sad case. You know, these happen every day. Um, just the ones we hear about are so gut wrenching. Like, could you imagine working in that field and being a part of that all the time? Like, it takes a special kind of person. These DCS workers and CPS, and I know they get a bad name because to a lot of people they're the bad guy. But can you imagine what they see? I mean, on a daily basis, and not just the ones that turn out the worst, but the ones where you can see things like this coming. Kind of like the Wells. That was a horrible, horrible situation. It makes you look back and say, what in the world were they doing? What was CPS doing? Oh, good news. Or Banner B's on top of it. Dad was in there. The other kid's dad was in their life. They were with their dad the night she went missing. That's good. That's good. Well, that makes a lot of sense too, though. If someone's going to go missing, something happens, the 2-year-old not going to have much of a memory about it, or easily distracted by brother or somebody on the other side of the family, grandma. Be a lot harder to hide that from 4 older children, right? Right. And you got to kind of wonder, like, in a case where, it's got to be a coward to do something like that, E squared. But in a case where there is no evidence, there is no trace, it's got to be premeditated, right? You would think. Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's premeditated. If this was a thought out, planned out, and I know we don't have a whole lot of information about it yet, but for me, I think it was. I think it was a thought out, planned out, carried out, cold-blooded killing. Yeah, Steve, it does. It does put you, people who do that kind of thing, they can't have a soul, right? What kind of human being does that? Snark sister, you don't think it was planned out. You think it could be spur of the moment type thing. I just think if there's a struggle or a fight, that there'd be more evidence. But you never know. You never know. And you never know what kind of evidence would be on Crystal, but not there. Yeah, Steve, the premeditated are really hard because, there's a plan. It's a plan there. But I look forward to trying to form, more of an opinion with you all. And there was a case where a mother went missing on Christmas Day and she's never been found, has 3 children. We all suspected her ex-husband was was the last one to see her too. Yeah. Yeah, that's and in those kinds of cases you see, that usually the person you love the most, trust the most, is the last one you see, and it makes it even worse. E squared said there had to be pre-planned place to put her. She was hidden too well, too fast. She wasn't missing for weeks before reported. Her family raised alarm bells quickly. They did. They really did. One day, like, and they were quick to say, "Hey, dude, why didn't you say anything?" Banner B, let's see. Oh, Banner B knows the case. She might be my case expert on this. He planned a date night with her and the toddler, had the other kid's dad keep them for the night. Their date night ended early, though, because neighbors saw them come home not long after leaving. Ooh, maybe they got a little argument. Came home, and just because he says last place he saw her was on the couch playing her phone, doesn't necessarily mean that the last place he saw her was on the couch playing her phone, right? That's the story he gave to the Pope. Snark Sister said, yes, they think where she died was in the barn, but it was moved before they searched it. Talking about Grandma's barn, Snark Sister? Brooks is a builder. They've been excavating in that neighborhood. Yes, they have. Um, there was 3 properties that they conducted search warrants on, and they did find human remains. We just don't know who they were. So, be interesting to see some info on those remains, how long they'd been there, things like that. If that's even possible, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just the voice. I don't really have a whole lot of expertise in forensics. Definitely a plan. Definitely pre-planned if he arranged for the others not to be there. Yeah, and I mean there is a possibility that maybe it was just a family night for him and the toddler and the mom. They got in an argument and came home and he did something crazy. But even if that's the case, the way that there's no evidence and everything was hidden and she's still hidden, makes you think like even if it wasn't planned on that night, that he had a plan just in case. Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out whose remains those were. But I think if they were belonging to anybody, that was missing or that they could identify, that there would be a much bigger deal made of it, and the Hawk brothers would be in trouble, and they may be. We're going to look into it. We're going to find out what we can. I'm going to ask Bannerby. Bannerby, you watched the docuseries, didn't you? I think brother was deeply, deeply involved. He failed the lie detector test, and I know that's not admissible or whatever, and there's also an employee that works for the boyfriend that was in trouble for lying to the police. 38 counts. 38 counts of lying to the police. Oh, goodness. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right, let me drop that down. All right, let's throw my. I'm gonna play a little video for you guys. Let me throw my Fair Use Act up. So, we're not trying to steal any content. We're doing this for educational and commentary purposes, critical analysis. We'll watch this one first, and I may have another one. So let's. I'm going to share this one, if it will play. And thank you for sending. Let's see. Let me get rid of that. Okay. Let's see if I can get this any bigger.
Well, she's lost a daughter.
I don't know if I can get this any bigger. Oh, maybe can. There we go. Yeah, see that? Okay. I'm going to mute and play this, guys. This is the grandmother. Hey, DP, how are you? I did get your email. Yes. Didn't I respond? Let me check. I'll check it. Make sure I did. But yeah, let's watch this little news clip. This is bad news for the grandmother.
A husband, and now a grandson. A Nelson County judge denies Sherry Ballard the right to visit her grandchild, the youngest son of Crystal Rogers. WDRB's Fallon Glick spoke with her about why she's speaking up now, Fallon.
And Scott, Sherry Ballard hasn't spoken publicly about her grandson until now. She says she never wanted to jeopardize the custody case, but now she says she can't stay quiet any longer.
I did everything possible that the courts have asked me. In the last 2 years, I still have no visitation for my grandson. It was like I was supposed to erase him from my mind and my heart until the courts decided, that for me.
On Saturday, February 20th, Nelson County Judge Stephen Hayden ruled visits between Sherry Ballard and her grandson are denied. Ballard hasn't had visitation with the now 8-year-old boy in more than 2 years.
That's my daughter's son.
This long-fought custody battle started after the boy's mother, Crystal Rogers, disappeared. Rogers is presumed dead by law enforcement, and the boy's father, Brooks Houck, is the main suspect in the case and has full custody of the child. Judge Hayden said Houck and the child have a strong relationship, and Houck is a loving father. Hayden went on to say the Ballard family has been vocal about their belief that Houck killed Crystal and was unconvinced the family would not make those comments in front of the child.
Everyone that walked in my door knew not to speak of his father. I made it crystal clear for everyone that walked in this home. They knew what was at stake.
Ballard prays for the day she can visit with her grandson again, but in the meantime, she writes to him in a journal expressing how much he's loved.
He's not forgotten, and we haven't erased him from our lives just because we don't get to see him.
Ballard plans to appeal the decision. We also reached out to Brooks Houck, but have not heard back. Fallon Glick, WDRB News.
I just, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're looking at it from the bench, as a judge, you have to be, you know, you have to follow the law and instead of your heart. I don't know, man. It's obvious that at least, in the very least, they've been dishonest about knowing about where the mother is. And now, it doesn't appear that the mother's family is going to be allowed to have anything to do with their baby. That's sad. Banner B says, let's read this. People who knew Brooks said he resented Crystal's family and her other kids. I think that may have been his motive. He wanted his son and not her other kids. It's a very good possibility. That's a very good possibility. I'm going to see if I can find this Oxygen docu-series tonight and see if Mama C will watch it with me. I'm sure she will. It does, Steve. I don't even think, a lot of people don't even, and DP, you're right, the court system is flawed. There isn't true justice for sure, I know. But Steve said, these crimes always break my heart. The poor families and law enforcement officers and even the judges, it takes a toll on everyone, and it does. No matter what their opinion is, no matter what they see, blatantly see, like, according to the law, those men are not part of the investigation anymore. So justice does have to be blind, Steve. You're right. They could let that women at least, yeah, they could at least let her see the baby, even if it's supervised, right? Like, that's her grandkid. That's the only thing she has left. No, it's not the only thing. She's got other grandchildren, but is the youngest. I don't know. That's what I think. She should at least get supervised something. Let's see. All right. So let me pull up. We have one more link I want to watch for tonight. You guys want to see Detective Snow interview? Is it Brooks Hawk? That's the boyfriend, the father of the baby. That's a good question right there, Sandy. We need to check into that too, don't we? Just to get a better idea. Let me pull up. I've got a couple of videos that people have sent me to, and we're gonna hold off on a couple of them for tomorrow, but I want to play this one tonight. If we can get it up, if we can get it to pull up here. Maybe not all of it. It's an hour and 26 minutes long, but we'll play about 10 minutes of it if you guys want to, and then get into dismiss for the evening and come back tomorrow at 10. And man, this is going to be a long one, so this is going to be good. All right, Banner B, Sandy says apparently it wasn't, and Brooks was even admitted they lied to the other kids, saying the baby had another babysitter so they wouldn't be jealous. So voila, right? You got nothing to hide. Why tell a lie to the babies? All right, let's see. Let's deep cover. You go to the share button here. Chrome. This is from a YouTube channel, PLG TV 13. So we're going to use this under the Fair Use Act. Looks like it's been comments turned off and everything. So I guess this has been shared and displayed a lot. So let's blow this up. Turn off the mute. Right. You guys see that pretty good? I'll mute and let's watch a little bit of this. This is the Brooks Hawk. He's the man who last saw her alive.
Big pond back there, but there's a little pond for them for a water supply too right now. So more often than not, they go back there in that third field, but like in later in the evening, a lot of times we're consistent at the times, and sometimes we're not. But a lot of times in the evening, they'll drift up here thinking they're going to get some feed.
Right, coming for the sweet feed, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you all, when you all went for the cows, though, I think.
Yeah, we went in this gate right here, and then we walked all the way back through there.
So because they weren't up in field one.
Yeah.
Okay. So you fed the cows. What else did I read there? Sorry. I'm doing all kinds of crazy stuff. You fed the cows, and then you come back out and you walked the road, right? The road that goes to.
Yeah, after we come back out from walking up through here, then we walk out to here, which there's another. Did I see your pin again?
Mm-hmm.
So there's another. It ain't exactly straight, but it looks something like this.
That's the driveway.
Yeah, this driveway to the barn.
Right.
And then we walk out the road and we just walk back through there.
Okay. And how long would you say that road goes back into there? Do you know? If you had to guess.
I don't know. I bet it's a good mile.
From
right
the
here.
barn to the end of that road and back. So a couple mile walk going to and from.
Yeah, if you go, because there's a cul-de-sac right here. There's also a cul-de-sac I put in up here, and then there's a third cul-de-sac at the very end, back creek back there in the very back.
Oh, okay. But you think it's about a mile, maybe?
I would say
more or less?
close, yeah.
So you walked to the end of there and you came back. Did y'all do any work on the barn or anything while you were there?
No, we didn't do no work on that barn.
Didn't work on the driveway or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
The the dozer, the reason I ask is because the dozer that's sitting there, did somebody use that to put that driveway in or put rock on that driveway recently, or?
No, on Saturday, I moved it over there. It was parked. That dozer, I've got a skid steer also broke down.
Right.
I've got a skid steer right here with some weeds growing up around it.
Yeah.
And then I had a dozer. The dozer right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, I backed it right across here. Right here. And there's been a water coming in the front. There's a big door right here in the front of the barn.
Mm-hmm.
And water had been going in the front of it right here. And then I moved, and I wanted to, she's always complaining about, my mother is always complaining about the trash and rubble that she likes to keep everything neat and clean. She likes to keep the grass mowed short, but I'm not going to pay a high bill to take that stuff to the county dump when I can clean it up easy. It's too much to do all at once, but I can, every time I come out there, I can throw a match on it or burn a little pile. Eli likes to roast marshmallows, so what I do, and we spend so much time out there, what I do is put a pile and I'll light a little piece of it on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way I don't have a huge fire, but I've got enough that I'm constantly getting rid of some, and then they won't charge me that high density fee out there at the dump. So I'm going to take all this equipment, this skid steer too. I just hadn't drug it over there yet. And then all these trailers with them weeds are high. I'm going to try to get it on both sides of these doors, just to get it out of there.
Did you burn anything Friday night when you were out there?
Yeah, yes, it's not uncomfortable. I don't want the stuff piling up to the moon. I always light a fire. There was a little pile, probably, I'll write that on there. Right here with this little pile here. I think y'all may have covered it up. Y'all got
I think we did.
slung stuff everywhere, but
yeah, I apologize. That
it don't matter.
Well, the dog, that lady's dog, she said acted like there was something under there.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So I had some water problem right there, and I'm in the process of getting that right there fixed. We dug out right there in front of that door to try to let a vein of water come out because it's too low. The slab is.
And that was Saturday?
That was Saturday when I did that.
Do you remember what time Saturday you got out there?
Mm-mm.
Was you before lunch, after lunch?
Oh yeah, it was well before lunch. It wasn't. It was morning time, but it wasn't early morning. It wasn't late morning. It was about mid morning.
So you had a little fire. When was that? After you took your walk or before you took your walk?
I lit it. I don't know if I lit it right before we took off walking. I know we fed the cows first because I want to do that as quickly while we had still plenty of daylight. I don't know if I lit the fire before we walked back here or right when I got back. I could have done it either one. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. So you lit the fire. I'm assuming then you probably don't leave until the fire burns out. Would you leave it burning? I don't know. I generally don't like to walk away.
Yeah, but if it's just a bed of coals,
I mean, it's not like burning.
Yeah. I wouldn't leave if I thought there was any danger. Not when especially when I got all this equipment and barn and stuff right there. But I mean, if it's died down and it's just a big bed of coals, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
So especially if it's not in August or September when everything's just perfectly dry. It wasn't.
We had plenty of rain.
Yeah, and the ground's wet and dew's on. Yeah, it's not a big deal. To me, I'm not a firefighter, so.
But you definitely moved the dozer on Saturday.
Yeah, I moved the dozer on Saturday.
Is there a septic system with that barn?
There is.
Okay.
It's never been hooked up. There's never been a toilet put on there. But I tell you who put it in there. And he can tell you exactly how 100% was done. It's Casey Ballard.
Casey Ballard did.
Mm-hmm.
And Casey Ballard, is that her?
That's her brother.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So he put the septic, is there like an opening somewhere where you can access it?
Oh,
for
yeah.
Maintenance and whatnot?
Mhm.
Where would that be at?
There's a big pole out in the middle of this, in field number 1 right here.
Uh-huh,
There's a great big pole like this right here
uh-huh.
that marks the end of it. It's got one big lateral, big pipe on it, and it's marked out there so somebody don't crush it with a tractor.
So the opening for the top of the septic tank?
No,
is
no,
in
the
field?
top,
You're talking about the lateral line?
Yeah, that just daylights out.
Right.
There's a big, underneath that, right where this fence is right there,
Uh-huh.
there's a big round lid right here.
Okay. Next to fence for field 1. right?
Mm-hmm.
And how long has that septic system been there? I noticed the work
Probably
kind of ongoing.
Probably about 3 years,
3
3 years. I just never did finish that barn, because I've had so much other stuff going on. But in that barn, I've kind of got a little.
Yeah, I saw where
runway.
you were putting the cedar plant.
I never got done with it, but I'm close to getting it done. I just never made it that far.
Right.
But yeah, the right where that little plumbing, that little bathroom is, right on the outside of the barn, there's a big a septic tank right there, and then there's a great big long piece of pipe right here, a bleeder valve, and then it's marked by, there's a big pipe, there's an iron T-post out in the middle of this field, and then I took a piece of PVC pipe that's weather resistant, and I just slid over top. It would stop the post from rusting, and it's also much taller than the grass, so that if the grass did get up real high, somebody wouldn't hit it with a bush hog, or wouldn't hit it with a mower or something like that.
All right, so you guys, you've taken your walk, the fire is down, maybe not out, but it's down enough, and you're leaving, and it looks, again, looking at the video, looks like it's about 5 minutes till midnight.
All right.
That's to me, and I've got a couple of kids, but everybody parents a little differently. To me, it seems a little late to be out on the farm with a 2.5-year-old. Where is he at midnight? Has he been asleep in the car for a while? Is he still
No,
awake?
he's still wide open, and he'll
Really?
any night he's so used to sleeping so later in the morning. His normal day, that's his 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. Really? 11, because she sleeps much later in the morning. She stays up. So and it's always been that way.
So
And
he's
like
good to
people
go
do,
at midnight.
he's wide open.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys get back and load up in the truck. Load up in the truck and you drive back. You leave out. I see you leave out the driveway at about 11:55. Somebody passes you on the drive back on Loretta Road about 10 minutes after midnight or so. He says, roughly, we're still kind of narrowing that down, but roughly sees you about 10 after midnight, which wouldn't be uncommon. It's been raining most of the day. The roads are kind of wet. 15 minutes from your mom's house to the golf course. There's Caddyshack. Not a big deal there. And so do you remember, or did you go straight home on Friday night, or did y'all stop somewhere? Or, because I'm thinking if that's their normal 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, it might be dinner time. Did you stop and eat something, or did you go straight home?
We did not eat anything. I went straight home.
Okay. So you went straight home. So if we assume that he's correct in about 10 minutes after midnight, another 10 minutes to the house or so. So
I don't see it being that late. I mean, if that's what some of the things say, I guess you'd have to kind of go by that. But yeah, we didn't stop anywhere. We went straight home.
Okay. So you could feasibly be home by 11:30. You can be home.
I feel like
which is what you told me. You thought, or I'm sorry, not 11:30, 12:30. You could feasibly be home by 20 minutes after 12 if he passes you at 10 minutes after 12.
All right.
Which is a little off from what you originally told me, and you just said I still think it's a little off, but we'll go with what the camera says as opposed to memory, because sometimes memory is not that great.
All right.
And I checked the time on her camera, and I'm allowing for about a 9-minute gap there between what my watch says and what her camera says.
All right.
So which puts you leaving there by 11:55, which you know, again, 15 minutes to Caddyshack is not terribly bad in the rain. So it could have been that he passed you at 10 minutes after midnight, putting you home roughly 20 minutes after 12.
All right.
Fair enough?
Yes.
So you guys get home 20 minutes after 12, right there, thereabouts. I think you said you went to bed first. Do you remember about how long you were home before you went to bed?
I went to bed immediately.
So when you guys got in, you went and did your nightly routine and you're going to bed. I think you told me that she stayed up, and Eli, did he stay up as well?
He was.
And where was she at when
If there's any activity going on in the house, he doesn't want to go to bed.
Mhm.
If everybody turned the lights out and we just got in the bed, he's gonna follow us in there and lay down with us. But if I go to bed and she stays up, he's not gonna come in there to bed till all the lights are out and then she goes to bed. If I was doing something like that and she was in the bed, he's gonna stay up with me until the lights are out until I go in there. Do you see what I'm?
Sure.
Yeah. So that's what
so he's gonna stay up with mom. Right. So before you went to bed, or any conversation, I know you told me that you all had a conversation Friday evening sometime about the kids. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you said you all talked about the kids Friday evening. Does that conversation bleed over to when you get home, or is that conversation done?
No, whenever I got home, I went to bed. I mean, it was relatively, quickly when I got in there. The conversation does not bleed over.
Okay. So you go to bed, she stays up. What's she doing?
She's just on her phone, playing. I don't know what game, but she normally plays a game.
Right.
Some kind. She's got several of them on there, but I don't know which one.
Okay. So she's on her phone, messing around, doing whatever. And you go to bed. Do you know what time Eli came to bed, or she put him into bed?
I don't know.
Don't have any idea.
I normally go to bed earlier than that, so when I went to sleep, I'm a pretty heavy sleeper. I wouldn't have noticed, if he crawled in there,
So you said you're a pretty heavy sleeper. So your phone is getting phone calls. I can see it on your phone logs before 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. Do you hear that going off? Do you normally keep it in there?
Yeah, but I don't have to. At that time, I've got an alarms on my phone at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Sometimes I've got them at 4 and at 7. But my alarm most mornings goes off. I always have it for 6 and 7. But I'll wake up before my alarm goes off. But yeah, it's not uncommon for me to get calls really early in the morning.
So what time do you think you got up on Saturday morning?
I probably woke up around, in between that time, like 6 or 7 o'clock, and then I left. I did my normal thing, changed my clothes, put my clothes on, and headed out. Shortly after that,
Well, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you something. There, on the phone records, there appears to be a phone call around midnight.
All right.
On Friday night, Saturday morning.
All right.
I'm talking about on your way home, basically.
All right.
Do you know who that person was that called you around midnight? Do you remember taking a phone call?
Can you just call the number back? I don't.
I mean, I could. I could.
What's
I
the
could
phone
look at
number?
your phone.
Yeah, look at my phone, but I don't remember
You
that.
don't remember getting a phone call on the way home?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be unusual for you to get a phone call at midnight? I mean, it is for me, and I work for the sheriff's office. I get calls quite regularly.
Some of the people that do the tile for me, I wouldn't put it past them to call me at any time. They lay brick through the day, and then they're tiling my houses at night. The Thomases I wrote on there, Derek and his brother Tyler Thomas, they'll call me at any time. And I've got even if it's just one day, I don't pay them people by the job. They got to get paid by the hour, and then when they get done with it, I pay them.
Right.
That's just what we've agreed on. But yeah, those folks there call me any hour.
It was a pretty short phone conversation is the only reason I asked.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of unusual to get a 13-second phone conversation at midnight. It is for me. It may not be for you. But,
all right. Well, just check it out. Yeah, check it out in detail. That's right.
So Saturday morning, you wake up sometime between 6 and 7. I think we decided that Danny Singleton, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
A guy that works for you, was calling you. He called you pretty frequently. You said sometimes you give him incentive to work on Saturdays,
Yeah.
and that may have been why he was calling you. So did you go do some work Saturday morning before you went to your mom's house? Before you went to the farm? Or what did you do Saturday morning?
No, I didn't. I didn't do any other work on Saturday morning. That's where I went out there to the farm.
Mhm.
I don't know exactly what time I got out there, but that's what I had done.
So you get up between 6 and 7, and where's Eli at when you wake up?
He's next to me.
He's in the bed with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you get up. Does he get up with you?
He's still asleep whenever I get up, but I go to the bathroom and all that kind of stuff, and he's still sleeping there on the bed.
And so when you wake up, he's there, but Crystal's not.
She's not.
Okay. And so did you try to call her or?
Yes, I noticed that she wasn't there, and I didn't know exactly what to think. I don't know what time I called her. Yes, I called her that morning.
I mean, did you call her before you left the house to go to the
I don't
farm?
remember what time I called her.
But do you remember where you were at? Were you at home or were you at the farm? Or you were on the way to the farm? I don't know, somewhere in between.
I don't recall. I don't know.
That's fair enough. So you, before you go to the farm, you feed Eli breakfast?
I did not before we got there. I normally get those squeezable yogurts, all them vitamins and minerals and stuff in it, and he likes to eat stuff like that for breakfast, and it's easy. He can do that in his car seat or whatever he's got to do.
So you think he was eating on the way to the farm?
I don't think he was. I know he was.
Okay.
Now, how much of the yogurt he ate, I don't know.
I'm not worried about that. It's not a question of what he ate or how much he ate. I'm just trying to establish.
Well, he's a healthy boy. I can tell
pattern
you.
of behavior from that weekend, and here's why. And I'll be honest with you. I have been all along. Will continue to be. If I woke up on a Saturday morning and my wife wasn't with me in the bed, as is normal, which might not be normal for you, I don't know, but for me, it would be normal, particularly if my wife's a late sleeper, which mine is as well on Saturdays, for her to be there in the bed when I get up. So if she were not, probably the first thing I would do would be to call her to find out where she was.
But what you're not aware, what you're missing is a lot of times that her and Brooke, her sister, or Sabrina, a lot of these girls that they do all these, they go out and do stuff. Sometimes they do these, this is going to be embarrassing for me to talk to you about, but I'm wanting to get everything cleared up as quickly as I can. They do these fantasy parties. All these girls get together. They talk about and do whatever. And it's not uncommon for them, when they go out and party, they stay out the better part of the night, if not the whole night. So, and of course, I always have the children, during that. They don't take the kids to that. Matter of fact, I take care of some of their other children while they're the ones going. It's not uncommon because they know I don't get into all that stuff, and they know that I'm a man, don't get me wrong. Understand that, a white-blooded American male. And there's no sense, I'm not telling you anything different, but they do all these parties and order all this stuff. Well, who gets the kids? I'm good enough to get the kids for all this, and I'm a good enough person to do that. And then when everybody sees a little bit of distress, they're going to throw me under the bus. They need to re-examine all these other actions, how, and I can understand the family.
Okay, we'll stop it there for tonight. I just this guy obviously is not concerned about where she's at, right? I mean, can we agree on that? I mean, like, he does not seem too concerned whatsoever about where she's at. Yes, Bannerby, you can absolutely see where he resents those kids. Like the tone of his voice changed when he talked about even their other kids, like, okay, dude, now we see. Now we see. Yeah, this is I don't think it's the first day that she's missing, Sandy. I'll find out what the date is on this interview. But still, she's not been found. And he's not helping. If anything, he's trying to paint her as a bad person. And I don't know that she's not. I don't know her. I don't know her family. You know, people have different opinions on people. But I do know that when he fathered a child with her, she had 4 other children that he knew about. So here you go, dude. If you're going to resent those kids, there's ways to be with a woman without impregnating her. If you're going to be a man, be a man. Yeah, Steve, I agree. No real man resents kids that he's agreed to be in a family with. Like, he knew that he was, going to be part of that family and the man of the family, or at least part-time man of the family. Like, if they're with their mom most of the time, then they're with him most of the time. Even if there's another man, even if dad is, seeing his kids, paying his child support, they don't generally, even with, split custody, they don't generally do 50-50 on time. It's mom, could get them throughout the week and dad get them on the weekends or every other weekend or 1 week a month, but you're going to be in their life the bulk of the time, man. Don't be disrespecting them all the time, and that's, that disgusts me. I just have a soft spot in my heart for children, and for any person, man or woman, to intentionally take part in a relationship where children are involved and then be mean to those kids or disrespect those kids or treat them any differently than any other kid makes them bad people, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't get it. I don't get it. Steve says, I've been in a relationship where they have children with others, and I've never treated them any different than my own. That's what a man does, Steve. Hats off, brother. Who ruins 5 kids' lives to better his own? That's a malignant narcissist. They're fake, having normal emotions. That's right, Sandy. Yes, Leslie. Good man, Steve. I agree with you. I've got some more videos that you guys have been sending me, and we're going to go some more. And this video here is like 20 minutes into an hour and a half video. So we're going to watch this entire thing. We may take it in sections, but we're gonna enjoy this coverage of this situation, come to some kind of understanding together, and we don't all have to think the same way. We don't all have to have the same opinion, but we can watch it all together and make our own opinions. How about that? Hi, Rosemary J. How are you? But I'm just looking at this guy and I feel bad about judging him already, because I am judging him, but maybe I haven't given him time. KC girl says my sister and I have different dads, but my dad raised her as my sister, and we see each other as blood. And I have sisters. That's great. That's the way it should be. But yeah, I mean, I feel judgmental right now because I'm being judgmental. But this guy's going to have to do something to change my mind, or I'm going to stay judgmental. Sorry, I got this guy still up there. Let me bring me up. But you're welcome, Rosemary. And this was suggested by a subscriber / mod. And these are the kind of things I want to do in the future. Hello, Bama Truth Seeker. How are you? I want to get out of the mix of the, ugliness. This is ugly too, but, at least we're focusing on somebody who's bona fide ugly. And I don't mean physically. I just don't want to be part of the, the childish antics going on YouTube. Those who do want to do that, those creators, be my guest. Say what you want, say what you will, do what you want, do what you will. I'm going to give it my absolute best effort to just avoid it. And I know there's people literally using my name right now. I don't care. It's YouTube. I went to a basketball banquet today where a room full of kids who absolutely love me were there. So that's real. YouTube's not. Like Sandy says, not the circus part. Thank you, DP. So I'm gonna avoid the circus. Like if they want to drag me in and make their memes and make fun of me, be my guest. But we're gonna stay our course. We're gonna cover true crime. That wasn't what I started this channel for, but that's what I've decided to do. And not just limited to that either. I mean, I reserve the right to cover what I want to cover. If I want to cover the NBA Finals, I may do that. But thank you, Rosemary J. I'm going to have my family on here. If people don't like it, take your little finger and push another button and go to another channel. If you don't want to see my family, bye-bye. Molly loves having her little fan club. And the numbers may dip. If they do, that's okay. If there's one person here that wants to hear what I got to say, then I'm going to get on here and say what I got to say for one person. But even though we have, sports, even though, our chat numbers dip, I think a lot of that's to do with timing and who else is on. Like I said, when the circus is on, there's a lot of, people who choose to go back and watch us on replay, and that's fine. Our views are are still maintaining. They're relatively the same. They're just the live chat's not as big, and I'm beyond fine with that. But we will. I'm really intrigued with this new case. It's an old case, but I'm going to try to watch the docuseries some tonight and try to maybe, depending on how many episodes there are, try to finish it up. Thank you, Bama Truth Seeker. Yeah, I don't get being against me. Like, that's their right. They can do what they want, but I mean, from day one, I didn't want to pick a fight with anybody on YouTube. Like, just wanted to do what we do, bring facts and receipts. That's it. And it was made into a circus, and I don't want to be part of that. I mean, right now, right this minute, I could conjure up the name of any one of 3 or 4 creators and dare them in here to chat and fight with me, and there would be 700 people in here. That's not what we're looking for. Arkansas, you didn't get a notification? Well, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and set that as soon as I log off here tonight. We're going to start a little earlier than we did tonight. So we may even, in the future, start doing 9 o'clocks Eastern. Because like I said, people watch later. They can watch afterwards, no matter what they say. I was watching you in your video, seeing how much you put yourself into using a travel coach. Yes, it's that's been, my family and my basketball kids have been my life for a long time. And since before I was accused of murder. And the only people who say that ignorance are YouTube creators. So give that what weight it deserves. But I want to avoid doing the lives at the same time, Steve, and I don't want to do live when Josh has lives. I know it's hard sometimes, but and not like I'm going to draw any people away from them, but or they draw people away from me. I just, I want to have that freedom to go check their lives out myself. And so that's where we're at. And right now we're covering the Crystal Rogers disappearance. And I appreciate all you guys. My kids are both coming from different states this weekend for my niece's wedding. Oh, that's awesome. You'll be out for a few days. Well, that's awesome to get to see your kids. Heck yeah. That's good, Steve. All Steve's mods are here. I'm one of Steve's mods. Wah-ha! Guys, we will call it a night tonight. And thank you, Bama Truth Seeker. And come back tomorrow night and pick right up where we left off on this interview. We'll discuss for a few minutes, and then we'll get right into that interview some more. And I'll have more insight and input. And if you guys have anything you want me to show that you found on this situation, send it to me. Send it to me. But until tomorrow, I appreciate you guys being here tonight. I mean, it means more to me than you know. I'm Jimbo, coming to you live from the stand. Y'all have a good night.